was visiting down the street here, in the middle of Brooklyn, some of the old housing projects. I remember we were coming out of the stairwell on the 12th floor, and there was a little boy, little guy, about 5, and he was sitting on the floor in front of his apartment building, and he was just crying. I said, "What's the matter?" And he said, "My mom's not home, and she didn't make me lunch today, and I'm just hungry." And I don't know if some of you know what it's like to be hungry. I know what it's like to be hungry for a really long period of time. And I said, let's go get something to eat. I didn't want to leave him there because it was a really bad building. So I took him back to the church, and they didn't have a phone, so there was no way we could call. And so we stayed there till about 8 o'clock, and I thought, well, let me just take him back and see if she's back there yet. And it's about midnight, and I see his mother walking in between these two buildings. There was a couple of guys with her, but at the time I see her, he sees her. Well, it's his mom. You know, he's excited to see her. He jumps out of the van. And you know how sometimes little kids, they like to jump up in your arms when they're real excited to see you? He's running across the parking lot, and he goes to jump up into his mother's arms. And as he jumps, closed-fisted like this, she just hits him as hard as she can right here on the side of the face. Well, now he's laying in the parking lot. He's crying. And she's on drugs, she's high, she's just gone. And she's screaming and cursing, and you have to kind of be careful in these situations. So I walked over there and I said, "Look, everything's okay. I fed him. Everything's fine." I said, "I'll bring the bus around to pick him up for Sunday school in the morning." And she didn't even know what I was saying. And she reached down and she grabbed him under the arm and just jerked him up. And she was dragging him face down across the parking lot. But as she was dragging him across the parking lot with his other hand, he just looked up to me and he waved. And he said, "I love you, Pastor Bill." He said, "I'll see you at Sunday school tomorrow, okay?" Yeah, okay. It doesn't take much to show somebody that you love them. For him, it didn't take much at all. I'm Bill Wilson, founder of Metro Ministries. The kids in the inner city live on streets that are surrounded. Drugs, violence, gangs, all the social ills that make these neighborhoods in the inner cities of America what they are. They're all here, folks. And yet there's another side of these streets that a lot of people don't see. And that's what we're talking about today. And I want you to watch. I want you to see where a daring message of hope has been brought to a generation that up to this point never even knew there was hope. See, a lot of people that visit here, that's one of the things they say. "Oh, these kids are hopeless." No, they're not hopeless. They just don't have any hope. I want you to stay with us as you watch how healing can come to these streets of pain.
Bill Wilson knows what it's like to feel pain and hopelessness. As a child, he was abandoned on a street corner by his own mother, who was unable to care for him. Bill remained on that corner for 3 days until finally one man reached out and took Bill into his home. Little did that man know that Bill Wilson would grow up to lead the largest Sunday school in America and pioneer a model for inner city ministry that would reach around the globe.
Metro Ministries, or as it's known here in New York, the Metro Inner City Sunday School, is now the largest Sunday school, not only in New York City, not only in this part of America, but in the entire country.
In Brooklyn, New York, international headquarters of Metro Ministries, more than 20,000 children are ministered to each week. Bill chose this location knowing that if he could reach Brooklyn, one of the most violent cities in America, he could reach anywhere.
When you're in these kind of neighborhoods, when you're dealing with parents, so many of them that are so strung out on drugs, I'd say, conservatively speaking, you've got 60% of these parents that are alcoholics, where the kids live in that, and you can see it on their face when they come out of the house. These kids get themselves up in the morning, get themselves breakfast, if they eat anything. A lot of the parents here don't even know where these kids are going. And I think that's one of the difficult things for us, because in the long range, you're trying to build a relationship, not just with the kids, but with the parents as well. The Saturday morning, the Sunday school, the whole thing that we do, it becomes literally the highlight of these kids' week.
With Sidewalk Sunday School, weekly gatherings at Metro buildings, and ongoing home visits, Metro Ministries has grown throughout the surrounding neighborhoods and literally changed the face of America's largest city. However, the ministry does not end with the children.
When the sponsored kids come into the Sunday school and hear the Word of God, it changes their life. They go home and they act totally different. Their parents see the change that has taken place and they want to hear more. And then the parents start to come to church. We've got 2,000 parents coming to church here every single week. And more are coming. We've started services all over the city.
Ever since I've been going to Sunday school, my parents got saved, and my sister and my brother got saved, and now my whole family's saved.
With ongoing love, encouragement, and godly character-building lessons, Bill Wilson and Metro Ministries have proven that we can change our neighborhoods. We can reach into the slums of our cities and bring about the transformation of an entire generation willing to live for Jesus Christ. But even this accomplishment doesn't come easy.
There's a little girl on my bus named Karen. She's just a little girl, but she's dying of AIDS. It's a disease she contracted from her mother at birth. And yet the highlight of her week is coming to Sunday school, singing the songs, learning lessons, riding the old bus. The doctor said, just try to keep her comfortable. I was talking to Karen on the bus last week, and she said, Pastor Bill, I think Jesus is coming to get me soon. And you know what? Unless God performs a miracle, that little girl's not going to be with us much longer.
From the sewers of Romania and the garbage dumps of Manila to orphanages in Haiti and the slums of Asia, Bill Wilson and Metro Ministries reach into the most desperate places on earth with a message of hope. Metro Ministries has also become one of the largest ministries to be modeled by over 1,000 churches and Christian organizations, duplicating the efforts worldwide. Metro knows that if you want to reach the world for Christ, you must reach the children.
When you get close enough to a kid in the inner city, when you get close enough to touch it, it becomes real. These kids live in a world they didn't create, but now they have to live here. So how do you change places like this? One at a time. And that's how we're reaching kids. I really do care. I really do care. And I'm willing to get close enough to that child to let that child know that I love them. No matter where they come from, no matter who their mom is, even if they don't know who their dad is, no matter what kind of place they live, somebody loves them. And it's communicated by somebody that really does. We need your help, and we need it now.